Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Agreement with organized labor to cost federal government 2 trillion naira. Impeachment. Undo Assembly directs CJ to raise panel on deputy governor. Tinubu certificate in order. Chicago State University deposes in court. Senate bars new members from top hosts. Diphtheria. FCT 18 states may bring back face mask use. UK, US to partner federal government on marine and blue economy. Okay, which story?
Let's start with the major headline. So the federal government has said they will be spending not less than 2 trillion directly on the implementation of the Monday's pact with the organized labor. After a 4-hour meeting, an agreement was reached to cushion the petrol subsidy removal pains on federal workers and other categories of Nigerians. Now, there were highlights of the memorandum of understanding signed by the government, and I want to just take them. It said payment of a wage award of 35,000 naira monthly to federal workers for 6 months. Allocation of 100 billion for high-capacity compressed natural gas CNG buses, 55,000 CNG conversion kits and CNG station nationwide, 75,000 naira grants to 15 million households, payable in 25,000 naira monthly for 3 months. Government will require 1.125 trillion to actualize the 75,000 grants to 15 million households for the 3 months. They said the money will also lift the standard of some of the poorest Nigerians, also pensioners. And the monthly wage award of 35,000 for about 1.5 million federal workers will cost the government 315 billion over a 6-month period. Now, besides, 100 billion will be committed to the high-capacity CNG buses for development and use of commuters. So, this was a welcome development. Experts are happy about it, saying that this is better than having that strike that would have just crumbled the economy, that they are happy now that the government is listening. They are, and they are waiting to see how the implementation of some of these things the government has said will take place.
2 trillion is a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's take the British and the United States governments have expressed their readiness to partner with the federal government in the newly developed, the created Blue Economy Ministry. Both governments, as the US and the UK, will be working with our Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, on how to explore this new sector. The delegation came in to see the minister yesterday, one from the US, Ambassador Jesse Le Pen from the US, and from the British High Commissioner, Dr. Richard Montgomery. Both of them have spoken to this minister separately, and they would express their intention to work closely with him to develop this sector, to use technology to enhance the exploration of this sector, and hopefully solve some of the problems and create a blue economy that helps with tourism, builds in tourism sector. And also, there's one more thing that I thought it was interesting. I was trying to find it. I can't find it right now, but it was something about tourism. Coastal tourism, that was what I was looking for. Coastal tourism, and create conducive atmosphere for businesses to thrive within that coastal area, which is really key for us at this time.
It is.
Looking forward to that.
We need more
Right
people
words.
to bring money. Yeah.
Next action.
Action, yes. Okay, next.
I have a story, but go first.
Okay, so I would take the diphtheria story.
Okay.
FCT 18 states may bring back face mask use. So the federal government has called on governors of 19 states with confirmed cases of diphtheria to reintroduce face mask wearing at public gatherings, and that's because the disease is highly contagious, but it is vaccine preventable. So up to 8,406 cases have been confirmed, and the first case led to the death of a 4-year-old. The highest percentage of victims are between 1 and 14-year-olds, and according to the NCDC Director General, Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa, Kano is the epicenter of the disease with 7,188 cases. There are also cases in Yobe, Katsina, Borno, Jigawa, Lagos, and the FCT. Also, Cross River, Enugu, Imo, Nasarawa, Kebbi, Zamfara also have cases, And then the government has assured that they have launched a rapid vaccination program to prevent further spread, and they are optimizing labs for accurate testing.
Right done. I have the story. So Tinubu's certificate in order, CSU deposes in court. So Chicago State University's registrar Caleb Westberg yesterday deposed that the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu that attended Southwest College is the same person who attended and graduated from the institution in 1979. He further stated that Tinubu, a male student, is the president of Nigeria. So they said these testimonies were contained in a deposition that he made in the office of Angela Liu, Deckert LLP, on 25 West Walker Drive, Suite 3400, Chicago, Illinois, 6601. Liu is counsel to Atiku Abubakar, and so Mr. Westberg had to be there to give his testimony concerning this result. What he confirms, I mean, you have to read it because it's quite long, so I'll just take bits and pieces of it. He says, we believe Bola Tinubu, who attended CSU, is the same person who is president of Nigeria today. We believe Bola Tinubu, who attended CSU, is the same person the same person who is president today. They said that diplomas, he did not pick up his diplomas. And he says, yes, many students don't do that. That in America, it's not a big deal. It's really ceremonial. What they may give to a student are transcripts. That's what they do. So he says maybe it's a Nigerian thing that it's important that you pick up the diplomas. He said he's never met Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself. He's never had any interactions with him. There hasn't been any team that had been sent to him to have a conversation with him. They do not receive any donations from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Just confirming that he was male, he's the same person, right. And then you can read further in the papers.
Do we pick up certificates in this part of the world? That was certificate. We never picked it up.
Me, I have
You picked up your...
I have in the US now. I have now.
No, not that one. The other one we did. MBA now. Have you picked up your certificate?
They never pick up. They never give us certificates.
That's be in trouble. Better go and pick up.
That's true. The Punch. APC lampoons Atiku ex-VP set to submit document in Supreme Court. Ayedatiwa Ondo Assembly asked CJ to raise impeachment panel. 2 killed as LASMA officials driver clash at the local government office raised. 22 drowned as boat capsizes in the Niger state. 6 bodies recovered. MohBad's police detain Naira Marley. Minister Tinubu picks Balarabe to replace El Rufai. 100 billion naira CNG buses. Senate rejects CBN loans, warns Tinubu against illegal spending. And 23 oil blocks fail to produce crude, says federal government. Okay, which story?
Human interest
Punch,
story,
yes.
very painful. So they said 4 persons, a tricycle operator, a pregnant woman, and her 2 children, yesterday morning were crushed to death in Lagos State after a vehicle rammed into the tricycle that they boarded. So they said the accident occurred when some officials of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, alongside a policeman attached to the team and a driver of a bus were struggling with the steering wheel of the vehicle. So the deceased woman, on the other hand, was taking her children to school when, from the dragging, the driver lost control and then rammed into the tricycle, killing the woman and her 2 children. The rider was there as well. And so there are different accounts in different newspapers. Some said that only 2 persons died out of the 4. Others are recuperating in the hospital. Others said all of them died. And some eyewitnesses said that the driver took the opposite, that's one way, because he was trying to avert a very huge pothole in front. And then when LASMA jumped into his car, they were dragging the steering, and that was what caused the accident. The account of the LASMA is saying that he committed an infraction and he was trying to run away when he lost control and rammed into the tricycle, and that they had an accident. However, the police is saying that it's not their own operation, but investigations are ongoing right now to ascertain what exactly happened. The drivers in the community had to, they started more like a protest. They attacked the officials. I think there's this local government where they have all the offices, VIO, LASMA, FRSC, said they were attacked there. Some of them lost their documents in the offices because people were upset as what happened.
We're still reviewing Punch. What's the story?
Okay, so I have the police command, Lagos State Police Command has said that it has Naira Marley, Azeez Fashola, that's his legal name, in connection with the controversial, it has in its custody Naira Marley in connection with the controversial death of former record label signee MohBad, as we all call him. The PRO was the one who made this announcement, and they had said earlier in the day, Naira Marley himself had tweeted that he was back here in Lagos to assist with the ongoing investigations into the death of MohBad. As we all know also, the body, MohBad's body was exhumed, an autopsy had been carried out, and police say that they're now just awaiting the results of that autopsy. And in their custody also is Balogun, to that Sam Larry as well, just to give us an update on what's going on with the investigation. Also, the nurse, you know, who allegedly gave him the injection just before his demise is also in custody. Okay.
So President Tinubu has nominated Abbas Balarabe as a minister to replace the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. He also nominated 2 others to the Senate for approval. Balarabe's name was read. Dr. Jamila Ibrahim and Ayodele Olawande, who were also nominated as Minister of Youths and Minister of State for Youth. All 3 names were sent into the Senate for confirmation. If you recall, the former governor of Kaduna State was actually supposed to be the nominee from Kaduna State, but unfortunately, he had declined the nomination, and he's now been replaced by this new nominee, Mr. Balarabe, Abbas Balarabe, as minister. Okay, let's see another story in Punch. Let's move on now. Yes. You have a story in Punch? Yes. Go ahead, please.
It's a pretty sad one. So 22 drowned as a boat capsizes in Niger. 6 bodies have been recovered. So 22 passengers were on their way to a market in Kebbi State, Yori, in Kebbi State, to transact different kind of businesses, but unfortunately their boat capsized and they all drowned. Only 6 bodies have been recovered so far, and according to the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, most of the victims were not wearing life jackets, and the mishap was caused by a very heavy downpour accompanied with a very heavy wind as well. However, they said they are doing all their best possible to recover the remaining bodies, but the rains have been disrupting the rescue operations. So we just hope that they can bring them back as soon as possible.
Daily Sun, very quickly. Ministers, Kwara, Ondo get more slots as Tinubu raises number to 48. UNDP develops master plan to end flooding in Anambra. Lagos residents slam traffic officers over death of pregnant woman, 2 children and others. Reps pro 15 trillion naira pension fund assets. 23 killed in a Kebbi boat mishap. Senate bars newcomers from holding leadership positions. Only 40 million Nigerians pay taxes, says Ramfak. OAU students reject tuition fee review, insist on 50% reduction. And impeachment, Ondo Assembly directs CJ to constitute 7-man panel on deputy governor. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Students of Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, Ile-Ife, Osun State, yesterday barricaded entrances to the campus, demanding a 50% reduction of the new tuition fee announced by management. In the review done by the management of the university, they said returning students in humanities who were initially asked to pay 89,200 had their bill reduced to 76,000, while the new students' fee was reduced to 131,000 from the initial 151,200. For sciences, technology, the initial charges of 101,200 for returning students is now 86,000 naira, while the new students will now pay 141,000 instead of the initial 163,200. They went ahead to list some of this, so I think people should just get it and read it. However, the students said that the reviews were contrary to their demand for a 50% reduction, and they threatened to continue protesting till it is reversed. Now, the president of the student union, Abbas Ojo, was the one who explained, saying that things are really difficult right now, and they had had a meeting with the management to say that they are not able to pay the new fees, that they needed a 50% reduction. However, only 15% reduction was given to them, and they are saying they will continue the protest till it's done. The school management, that's according to the public relations officer of the university, Abiodun Olariwaju, commended them for the peaceful protest, but saying that it will not pay them to further review the fees in the long run, because because of the economic situations, and they operate an open-door policy. They can come in and still continue negotiating as long as they do not disrupt the activities of the university.
Yeah, I have the Chairman, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Mohammed Bello Shehu, has revealed that only 40 million out of over 200 million Nigerians currently pay taxes to the nation's coffers. So he's saying that that's RAMFAC has set up this committee, you know, to look into the different ways that they can get more people within the tax net, and so that these funds are used in a way that can build infrastructure and all Nigerians can benefit from. He mentions that that here in Nigeria, you wonder how someone would, you know, declare an income of about 600,000 naira a year and import a car of 40 million naira. It does not make sense. He says, so he's always been of the opinion that when you import a car like that, you should be able to, if you import a brand new car, not only your name, date of birth, and NIN should be identified, they should place a search and see the last time you imported a car and how much tax you paid to the government. By so doing, you will get a lot of people like that. He says hundreds of people don't have their tax returns yearly, so I believe the government can also do it, and they're in the right direction in that aspect. Then he's also saying that, he also said that he was asked about the removal of subsidy, and he says they support it, not because they want to punish Nigerians, but because really, according to him, Nigeria cannot afford it anymore. We're running into bankruptcy. And he says that the subsidy, if we look at it, was not just Nigerians who were subsidizing, it was like the whole of West Africa. He says that if you look at it, about 10%, over the years, about 30% to 40% of whatever is produced with NNPC is taken outside to Cameroon, Niger, Benin, you know, and these are monies that would have been used for rails, just for other infrastructure.
All right, let's move on to Anambra. So the government of Anambra has said that United Nations Development Program, UNDP, has developed plans to tackle flooding in the state to help in Anambra. The Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Mrs. Chiamaka Nake, disclosed this in a two-day interagency meeting where she said that she has the document. According to her, they actually are working with UNDP. There's a flood resilience plan that is currently being implemented. It's been developed. And according to her, she has the final document with her, and this is, they're going to be having a sustainable and final response to the flood issue in Anambra State. According to her, we hope that if they get it right in Anambra State, the templates can be replicated in other states. That's their target, and Anambra State is ready to work with them to drive the implementation of the plan. So, as many of you know, Anambra is one of the major places hit by flood, and they're always having issues of erosion. So she's saying that working with the UNDP would definitely provide a lasting solution to this issue of flooding in Anambra State. Moving on quickly now to the Nigerian, the Vanguard. Frontline troops, army probes claims of poor feeding. Pope suggests Catholic Church should bless same-sex marriages. Tribunal judgment, DSS arrests lady threatening suicide bomb attack on the VP, Ganduje, lead judge Gawuna. New Senate rule restricts president's deputy seats to ranking members. Why we killed retired Benue jury, says gang member. P-hike OAU students block varsity gate. And 8 abducted NYSC members still in captivity, says families. Okay, which story in Vanguard?
A very painful story. So this happened in Makurdi. A 4-man gang have finally claimed responsibility for the gruesome murder of the retired president of the Benue State Customary Court of Appeal, Justice Margaret Ibeta, over alleged ownership and inheritance of an estate. According to the story, they said, we remember the decomposing body of Justice Ibeta was found late August by the police in a pool of blood in her home. And there were no trace of her murderer. So the police decided they must continue investigating to find out exactly what happened to her. So yesterday, the suspects were paraded at the State Police Command headquarters, and they confessed the roles they played in the heinous crime. According to the story, the 23-year-old nephew of the deceased, Mr. Joseph, confessed to leading other suspects to murder Justice Ibeta. And according to him, he said it was due to the document of his late father's landed property, which the justice held on to and refused to release to him. He said she refused to give me the papers, and our village people used to call her over the papers, which she held on to, but she would refuse to attend the meeting to discuss the matter. She also bought land from the uncle, who was also a part of the people that killed her. And after buying the land, she did not pay him the complete money. So he needed the papers of the land. He was not able to get it. And so she refused to release the papers. And that's why he plotted with the nephew to kill him. I think the driver also was among them. They said that day it was the driver that helped them to open the door to the house. They got in. The uncle stabbed her. He, the nephew, used a stick on her. And after she died, they dragged her, through the floor to the kitchen around 9 p.m. And it was just a very gruesome story. But I'm happy that the police has caught the 4 of them that were involved, and they are going to, yes, family members over land and no land issues. It's horrible. Horrible story. Horrible.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the DSS have arrested an actress, Firdausi Musa Ahmed. She had done an over 3-minute TikTok video. They said in the video, in unprintable and offensive words, she had called out some individuals, and they were the vice president of our country, Kashim Shettima, and then the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, and then and a few others. Okay, the lead judge, Justice Oluyemi, that's the tribunal lead judge, Justice Oluyemi Akintoye, and a few others. And her grouse is that they had sacked the previous governor. The tribunal had sacked the previous governor that had just been elected, and she feels that these were all the people that had played a role in that. And she was saying in very offensive language that she cannot, if only they would all gather in the same place, she's willing to be a suicide bomber to make sure that they are all, they're all killed. And so the DSS have said that they have her in custody and she will appear before the courts.
So Pope Francis, you have a story? Go ahead. Pope Francis has suggested that he'll be open to have the Catholic Church bless same-sex marriages. According to, if you recall, back in 2021, the Vatican had said that they would not bless gay marriages. The Pentecostal Fellowship of Niger also chosen to be quiet on this matter. However, recently, a published letter from Pope himself addressed to the group of cardinals who asked him about this issue of charity. And he said, listen, he described we have to emphasize pastoral charity, suggests a willingness to address the pastoral needs of same-sex couples and extend understanding and support to them. However, the pontiff reiterated that the church only recognizes the marriage between a man and a woman, but will be open to bless individuals of same sex. Wow. Okay? So, we have to wrap up very quickly. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So the families of the 8 Akwa Ibom NYSC members that were adopted by bandits are coming out to say that none of them has been rescued. And this is contrary to the recent media claims that 3 of them were freed and they were able to escape. The families are coming out to say they don't have any of their children back, and the kidnappers are demanding 100 million naira ransom. They've been able to raise 13 million naira in the past few weeks. They said they haven't gotten any, no government official has reached out to them, and they do not know what to do at the moment. They're so distraught, and they're even saying that if it were to be kids from Zamfara State, the Zamfara State government would have done something, but because they're from Akwa Ibom, they're being ignored. However, the House of Representatives yesterday urged the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, and other security agencies in the country to immediately secure the release of these NYSC members.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to the hot topic of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.